Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's Mr. FSP, and I'm here bringing you what you need to succeed. Again, it's hot outside. I just noticed something on my AC, and I'm like, what does it mean when, like, the refrigerator line has ice on it and it's 107 degrees outside? I think there's a leak or something. I got to go talk to the HVAC folks directly after this show. Hopefully nothing too big and it's an easy fix and I ain't got to come out of my pockets too much. We shall see. But with that being the case, all right. We're going to learn today, aren't we? Today, we're going to talk about what went on in the NFL this past week, which isn't much. It really isn't much. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals, which is a hot topic right now. You know what I mean? Game 7 happening Sunday. It is going to be lit. How does OKC fumble away this great opportunity? How? We'll talk about it. Then I want to talk about Canelo. And I don't know if you guys can hear me or not because my earphones are acting silly today. I have no idea. But Canelo and let me do an audio check because I don't know what's going on. My microphone's going crazy right now. It's going crazy. Check. I don't know if I can do a check live. I don't know. But we shall see. Okay. Anyway, let me make sure my mic's not muted. Okay, the mute is off. So I don't know what's going on with these wonderful headphones. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I just did. I'm pushing buttons. Anyway, speaking of pushing buttons, Canelo Alvarez, Bud Crawford. Boxing needs this fight. I'm just going to tell you. Boxing needs this fight to happen and many more like it. Logan Paul and his brother, forgot the other brother's name, but the one that mainly boxes, they have dominated the boxing scene over the past several years with their celebrity boxing stuff. There has been no real interesting fights outside of a few. Bud Crawford destroyed Devin Haney and what's my guy? Earl Spence, I think it was him he beat up. Yeah, I know it was him he beat up because I put money on it. But there has not been a real boxing interest anywhere. And I'm telling you that unless you have Canelo in it or Crawford in it, it's not going to draw. Putting them two together? Oh my goodness. My thoughts on this, and I'm going to start with this because it's easier to talk about and more interesting, in my opinion, other than the NBA Finals. Crawford is like Lomachenko who retired recently. Lomo likes to figure you out for a couple rounds and then go to work, right? That's what Lomo does. Bud, he's a counter puncher. He doesn't lead the fight until he's figured you out. So when you have a fighter like Canelo who wants to come at you, right? That fits into what Bud wants to do. Now, Bud is coming up in weight as far as boxing. He walks around at the weight that they're fighting at. Canelo, who happened to be in the area where I'm at a couple weeks ago, and I missed him. He's a natural size guy. He doesn't have to drop a lot of weight to make the pounds that they're going to fight at. This is going to be a good fight because I'm going to put it this way. I think Crawford is going to outbox him. He's just going to outbox him. Canelo is a very, very good boxer. But Canelo can get you with that one good shot. One good shot and then follow up with it. Crawford has been, in some of the situations where he got caught, but he recovered quickly. A lot lighter punchers. With that being the case, Crawford putting that weight on or keeping his regular weight, and if he's able to maintain his speed and his elusiveness, the power he'll bring is comparable to what Canelo will bring. Now, I made the comment on a group I'm in saying if it's a boxing match and a slugfest, Crawford wins. I think Crawford will outbox him. I think Crawford could outslug him. But if it's really even slugging in my opinion. If Canelo does what Floyd did to him, which was, not gonna lie, Floyd ran from Canelo. He did. He ran from Canelo. Again, Canelo was young. Young. So Floyd was smart about it. He said, let me get this kid when he's a young lion cub coming up in the sport and beat him. I will venture to say that Canelo would beat Floyd 3 years after that fight. Canelo now is the guy that really hasn't had a serious competitor. Seriously, he has not had a serious competitor to fight against. Crawford is a big step up in the caliber of fighter he's going to face. And with that being the case, it's a mega fight. Dana White decided to throw his hat into the boxing promotion ring, right? First boxing match or first boxing event he's going to promote is this one. Dude can promote. No joke. He can promote. Happening in Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken, or they want to have it happen in Jerry's World in Texas. Way more money in the Middle East, but with current situations in the Middle East, might not be the safest thing to do. Just gonna put it out there. Might not be the safest thing to do. You put it in Texas, Canelo got his people coming from Texas and Mexico. Bud will have his people fly down. Real simple. You would pack that house. Not as much money in Jerry's world as it would be over there. But I'm thinking safety factor, bro. Safety factor. September is the fight date, too close to the anniversary of what took place. And they're currently going through a war that we may or may not get involved in. Nope. Nope. Not going to do it. But I will tell you this, if there's a chance that both of these guys put on a stellar show, you can bank on that. Maybe the first couple rounds might be a little slow. By round 3, 4, and beyond, so I think it's going to be a good fight. I really wish that this was a classic, like 12-round fight, 15-round fight. Stamina-wise, I think both competitors can do that. I really do. Um, and give you a great show. I think that's days of past, but this to me has potential to be like Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, Hearns, Leonard, Hagler, you know, uh, Hagler, not Hagler, uh, uh, Jesus, I just had him, Hearns and Hagler, uh, Tommy Hearn, Hitman Hearns versus Sugar Ray. I really think it's there. I really think it's there. Um, I hope it's going to be as much as I believe it's going to be, because that's just a stage for a sequel. Or if it goes 1-1, a triple threat, and boxing gets interest again. If it's a controversial win or loss, there's going to be a number 2. Bank on it. It's boxing. If it's, pretty one-sided, won't happen again. But if it's anywhere close, you're going to see part 2. More money, more money, more money, more from In Living Color. But I suggest all the boxing parties or the fight parties, whatever, they're going to be fun. Plus, football season is right there. Come on, man. Come on. It'll be wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Let's move on as we're going to go with the NFL right now. Again, not that much news to report in the NFL. I'll talk about it. I'm not a Shador lover or biggest supporter. 2 speeding tickets within 2 weeks. Come on now. Henry Ruggs just got released from doing 3 years for the death of a pedestrian that he accidentally killed while doing 100 and whatever it was, 110 miles per hour in his car his rookie year, right? Shador, you have a lot more shine than Ruggs. There's a lot more expected of you than Ruggs. Do not give Cleveland or any of your naysayers, let a naysayer know, to put you off of this team or any other team. Reports are you got boosted up to the number 2 quarterback. Awesome. Contending for the number 1 job, which says a lot, even though this is the NFL. Unless Flacco retires, gets hurt, or really, really plays bad, they're going to let that guy start. Your job is to always and forever will be beat out Gabriel and Pickett and Watson. Watson's a foregone conclusion, but you never know. That's it. Until the team lets go of Joe Flacco, because he's proven something for them. I want you to understand that. He's proven that he can win with that team. That's why they brought him back and gave him the money they did. Stay ahead of the curve. If you have these needs for speed, play the video game, bro. Go to a closed track and drive one of them BMWs or whatever. But there was a joke. He was caught doing 101 miles per hour in a 60. And the joke was, that's nothing. He was doing 144 during the draft. But bump. He was picked 144th. But my words may not reach Shador Sanders or anybody in this camp, but to any NFL player, learn from the past. Henry Ruggs was not the only person to accidentally kill someone while doing excessive speeds. I believe Dante Stallworth also did it. He didn't go to prison. Man, he might have gone to prison, but it wasn't for a long period of time. Got out, did probation and some other stuff, got back in the league. But be super careful. Be super careful. Marshawn Lynch accidentally tipped somebody when he's in Buffalo. That changed that franchise and set Seattle up for success. They got rid of him. He went on to do the Beast Quake and win a Super Bowl ring. Buffalo still has not made it to the Super Bowl. Now, I believe they got Willis McGahee or something like that out of in a deal or something, but still, no Super Bowl. Learn from the past. Do not repeat the negatives of the past. You're young people playing a game, making millions of dollars. The impact you can have is astronomical. Are you the saviors of your areas or whatever? No. But some folks expect you to do certain things. That doesn't mean you have to at all. But when you have the image of being with the kids, of being a part of the community, stuff like that, it's certain things you have to temper, certain things you cannot do. Only because your brand, which is your company, which is you, represents everything that you do and you get involved in, good, bad, and indifferent. So, to every athlete, superstar, whoever out there, the need for speed, the need to date this woman, that guy, do this live, do that on Instagram, whatever. Remember, you are an entity and you have got to maintain a certain image in order to keep or grow your entity. Nothing much more I want to talk about in the NFL unless somebody chimes in on the message board or wants to come on and speak. There's a lot of political stuff I want to talk about. A lot. However, this is not the forum for it. I'll do that on another show during the week. But my goodness. NFL news and notes. We're getting ready for, you know, Training camp. You have these mini camps. All this buzz in the mini camps. Training camp's right around the corner, guys. Right around the corner. All right. Let's talk about the WNBA before we get to the NBA. I'm going to say something that's controversial. I might even get labeled as a Robert Griffin III. I don't care. Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA. Asia, my girl, Asia, you are physically and historically the most valuable player in the WNBA. But Caitlin Clark is what the WNBA is and wants to be. I'll be honest with you. She is the Larry Bird of the WNBA. Plain and simple. You can't put a non-athletic player on Caitlin Clark. Meaning, you can't put somebody out there that just is good. You have to put your top talent on Caitlin Clark. Last year, she was a rookie. The refs let the vets beat her up. Recent situation with her, that was uncalled for from the Connecticut Sun or whatever they're called. Uncalled for, man. Come on. And then a little brawl at the end, protecting, their players. I got it. The Indiana Fever. Check this out. Where did Larry Bird go to college? Where did Larry Bird finish his coaching career and end up being the general manager? I think the man's from French Lick, Indiana as well. Once quoted as saying, "Don't put no white boy on me. That's disrespectful." Caitlin Clark, kind of the same old. She can handle the ball a little bit. She can get assists. She's shooting from half court like it's nothing. She can drive and score. She is a full package of players. Oh, Dan calls her Pistol Pete. Dan calls her Pistol Pete. I've never seen Pistol Pete Maravich play, but he's a Hall of Famer and he's badass. Good enough for me. But I'm making a comparison, and I put this on a couple of boards a while ago, but you've got Magic and you've got Bird. You've got my girl, which and this is smart on her, the me bound. She patented the term me bound. Reese, I like Reese. I wish the Mystics would have drafted her. I really do. But the me bound versus all world, at some point, Caitlin Clark is going to win the most valuable player of the WNBA. The Fever was the worst team in the WNBA 2 years ago. Last year, they made the playoffs after being the worst team. This year, they're one of the better teams. They also got a swagger about them. I'm saying, and I'm not trying to sound like RG3, because I'm not. But there are a lot of people that got an issue with Caitlin Clark for no reason. I'm not saying Angel Reese does. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a lot of WNBA players and fans If you follow the sport and you like the sport, you should like Caitlin Clark. Bottom line, she does it all. Reese, attractive. See, now this is gonna sound really bad. It's gonna sound really, really bad, but I'm gonna say it. Angel Reese is fine. Caitlin Clark is eh, but her skill set is what got her where she is, not her attractiveness. To someone, she is the world. Reese, her skill set and her attractiveness got her to where she is. She's a pop culture icon already. But Caitlin Clark is a pro basketball player. Stop comparing fan driven controversy. Look, I'm telling you, I'm telling I am Dan, my man. I said this a while ago. College turned them into a rivalry. The NCAA turned Clark versus Reese into a rivalry instead of LSU versus Iowa. Clark willed her team, didn't have many players on it, to a place where they were almost national champions, right? Reese was on a team that had pretty good players, but was the face of that team that won the national championship, right? I don't think either one of them deserves to be the face just yet of the WNBA, but gameplay of Caitlin Clark says she is the future of the WNBA and gives other women that want to play ball, especially like her, hey, do it all. You can do it all. Me bound Reese. Hey, I love it. I love it. If y'all not stopping her from getting her own rebound, whose fault is that? It ain't hers. It is not Me Bound's fault. She misses a shot. She goes back up, hustles hard, and gets her own rebound. If it's 10 times in one possession, that means 10 times others failed to stop her. She's hustling and she's capitalizing on her sex appeal. I don't think you're going to see Caitlin Clark capitalizing on her sex appeal. I'm just saying. That's just me. But the girl can ball. And who knows? One day, if they see each other in the WNBA finals or in the playoffs, you might get some of that tension again. Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever playing in the, I don't know what conference. I don't, I'm be honest, I don't follow WNBA that much, but I know Chicago's not in the East and Indiana's not in the East unless they put them in the East. I don't know. But the New York Liberty, the Atlanta Dream, watch out for them. The Vegas Aces, just a couple years ago. I love Plum, but she's no longer a Vegas Ace. Plum and Asia had it. They had it. And yes, I agree with you, Dan. They both play their game their way. Exactly. But you always have to have a hero and a villain. A hero and a villain. Caitlin's the hero. Reese is the villain. Not really, but that's the way they're portrayed since college. Now the thing with Caitlin Clark in this past week with old girl, it goes back to college. Iowa and Ohio State. Same type of situation. Balls on the ground, they're scrambling. Uh, Old girl's over top of Caitlin, trying to get the ball. Caitlin throws a forearm, so to speak, but then clutches her face, kind of acts a little bit. Same situation. But why does Caitlin Clark get the shine she gets? Because she produces. Now, the last game that, day before, she didn't produce that much. But guess what? It was about Caitlin Clark on the daggone sports updates and the fight and so on and so forth. They're building a star, and what the WNBA wants is Reese to be that star. The same way the NBA needed Magic and Bird to be stars. Julius Irving was fading away, right? Moses Malone fading away. Kareem was there, but he went, well, first of all, Lou Alcindor, then to Kareem, but he teams up with Magic then, right? Boston versus the Lakers. Showtime versus hard work. I'm telling you, it's a formula that sports uses. The NBA, the WNBA currently use this as their tools to make these stars. I'm telling you. Just look at it. But I will tell you, the WNBA has a lot more eyeballs because of these two. If Caitlyn didn't have Reese to be her yang, wouldn't have that much love going on. It wouldn't. I ain't gonna lie to you. Caitlin Clark sells tickets. Caitlin Clark versus Reese sells out stadiums. Chicago Sky has Cardoza and Reese. They should be dominating boards. They should be, but they're not a dominating team. But you put the characters on the court together, must see TV. Plain and simple. Speaking of must see TV, and the last topic I was going to touch upon, unless Dan wants to come on or somebody else wants to come on and speak about whatever's on their mind, the NBA Finals. Look, I said when it came down to these two teams, it wasn't going to be that good of a TV, and I was wrong. Second week in a row, I'm saying I'm wrong. But the fact that the freaking Thunder went into Indianapolis or Indiana and laid an egg, missed every 3-point shot. Maybe they made one. Maybe. The whole team, one of 13 or something like that, gets blown out is ridiculous. After showing that they deserved to be the champions the game before, winning 2 games in a row, it was going to be hard to win 3. Comes down to 1 game. And that last game, Tyrese Halliburton was supposed to be hurt. He didn't look too hurt to me. But let's go back. The midseason tournament, last 2 times. OKC choked in the championship. The Bucks beat them. I should say Giannis beat them. What's going to happen? Indianapolis, I believe, beat them. OKC, you cannot let the Pacers win this last game Sunday. You were the best team in the NBA this year. You went through the Western Conference, which to me looked like the stronger conference, like it was nothing. The Pacers did the improbable. They ran that gauntlet. They were one game away from winning, or not one game. They were one game from taking a 2-game lead in a 3-game series, or remaining 3-game series to win national or the NBA championship, National Basketball Association championship. They choked twice. Rick Carlisle does not allow that. I'm gonna be honest. Rick Carlisle is one hell of a coach. One hell of a coach. I've said it before. I like the style, hate the team. If the Oklahoma City Thunder come out and play their game, they're going to lose. Let me explain. OKC's game is give the ball to Shea and let him operate. The Pacers figured it out. We're going to double and triple team him because everybody else is standing around. And Shea does not pass out. He does not pass out. So they're going to double and triple team him and cause disruption. Chet has got to move around. Williams has got to move around. The other role players have got to move around. Harbenstein has got to be a force. Got to be a force. Dan says playoffs are about peaking at the right time, as OKC peaked too soon. We talked about this, right, with baseball last week. I don't think OKC peaked too soon. I just think OKC needs to change how they play this last game. Continue to feed Shea. But Shea needs to be a facilitator, in my opinion. Because if Collins and everybody's going to collapse on him when somebody else is guarding him because he likes to go one way then bring it back, he has to be ready to give that ball up. And somebody has to be there to take it. Because if there's 2-on-1 or 3-on-1, that means 1 or 2 people are open. Get into their set quick so you can swing the ball around if you have to. Go to the elbow where you normally go, Shea. That's where you like to go. You like to dribble, penetrate, and reverse pivot to either elbow and do a pull-up fadeaway. They figured it out. It took them a while, but they figured it out. Chet cannot be missing point-blank dunks or layups. Not at all. 7 foot. Harvestein, you got to have more than 4 or 5 rebounds and 4 points. Williams is doing what he can, 20, 25. Took him a while, but he's there. Caruso, he's a spark plug. Everybody else, where you at? Dort, play solid defense. Shoot your 1 or 2 threes, but don't be trying to shoot 12 threes and only hitting 1 or 2. If OKC changes up their game plan, they win. If Shea continues to dribble into the hornet's nest, so to speak, and no one's there to pass the ball to, or he doesn't pass the ball, you're going to end up with the same result you had in the last game. And the Pacers are going to be the NBA champions. I don't want that to happen. I don't like Tyrese Halliburton. I like him, but I don't. And the WWE would make him one of the best players on some of their games because of the clutch factor. Pascal Siakam has been the clutch guy for the Pacers. As you saw in the Eastern Conference Finals, where Siakam got the most valuable player and Halliburton thought he was going to get it, he had a Drewski moment. Wasn't him. But he's the face. All I can tell you is when I look at these games, I'm more intrigued. They can play defense, but then fourth quarter, they decide, nah, man, we got to shoot. Or the coach takes out the starting five for the last quarter because the game's so out of hand. Messing up a lot of people parlays and stuff like that. Come on, y'all. Come on now. You're killing a brother. That's a personal note. But with that being said, Sunday should be an interesting game. I'm picking OKC to win. I really am. I think they're a lot better athletically, but the Pacers play a lot better team ball. If you take your athleticism with your other players and they use their not NBA, their basketball acumen, they can defeat the Pacers. Pacers are good. Don't get me wrong. They are good. Both teams are young. But I just see OKC being the better team. Right? I've been wrong before. Hopefully I'm not wrong now, but I've been wrong before. With that being said, if you notice, the old guy isn't here. Not sure what happened to him. He probably got his panties in a bunch and decided not to show up. It is what it is. I'm here. I'm going to be here unless I got something to do. And I'm going to give you what I got. Starting on July 5th, the day after the 4th of July, one of those holidays that people don't work. I told you, I got a lot of political tension built up that I want to have a show on from this current administration, but I'm not going to do it here. Anyway, July 5th, I'm going to begin my breakdown of all NFL divisions. My plan is to do them one at a time, but I might do two. Excuse me, two per show. If I'm by myself, which I'm banking on because, you can't count on some people, I guess. I can probably squeeze in two in one show because there's not going to be a lot of back and forth. But if it's two people, then it'll probably be one show with one division because I want to get as much information in as possible about the teams and everything. I don't have all the information. I really don't, but I try to get as much as I can. With that being said, unless there's some other stuff happening on the chat, which I don't see, thank you, Dan, for being a supporter, as always. Somebody on Twitch, somebody on YouTube, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for coming out. By this time next week, I'll be doing this. If you don't know what that means, check out 1914. I'm out. See ya.
right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?